Welcome back to my channel. Today is very exciting because I'm going to introduce to you some of my characters from my comic Mischief, which has been in the works for 5 years, and this is the first time I will be officially introducing them to the world. This video took a little bit longer than I anticipated, so I'm only going to be introducing you to my first 2 characters, Chief and Mystico, but they're by far the most important and I think the most interesting, so I hope you love them as much as I do. These 2 hooligans have changed a lot throughout the years, and until I made this video, I did not have a consistent character sheet or personality chart or anything. So this video was not only to introduce them to the world, but for me, so that I stop changing their personalities, backstories, and character designs. Without further ado, let's get into the video and introduce you to these 2 rascals who have been living rent-free in my head for far too long, Chief and Mystico. In today's illustrations, I'm using a lot of scrapbooking techniques like cutting and pasting, things I haven't done since I was really little when my mom would take me to scrapbooking parties. It was super fun to get crafty with these pages, but even though they looked great, they took a really long time, so I'm not going to be employing any of these techniques into my everyday sketchbooks, but I do want to do a little bit more of this kind of stuff on this channel. First up on the list is Mystico. Mystico is a cool and attractively mysterious stud with a short temper for anyone she finds annoying. She was raised by Melanesian pirates and has a strong hatred for the English, French, and Spanish. That said, she can speak all 3 languages, including Bishlama and various other Pidgin dialects. She's also very good at picking up the basics of a language just by spending some time around it. She was trained to be a quick shot at an early age, became a reputable hitman by the age of 15, and has known very little outside of that profession. Her carelessness for human life is usually seen as psychotism, as she never ponders the morality of her work. Her tool of the trade is of the same magnitude as what people use to protect themselves against polar bears up north. This weapon is called the Mosquito 008, or otherwise known as the 8-ball for its 8 lethal shots. This gun is only used for her killing shot when sinking her opponents, and she considers it part of her trademark. Her unstable past has led her to be greatly untrustworthy of others. Chief is the only soul she's ever considered a friend, and even he knows very little about her. She copes with anything she can smoke, but rarely touches alcohol as it alters her personality and makes her even more unpleasant to be around. She's dangerous and cold, but secretly wishes for a more mundane life where she doesn't have to have one eye open at all times. So there's my little blurb for Mystico, talking a bit more about the illustration now. For both Chief and Mystico, it's the same thing. I laid a watercolor foundation down before adding alcohol markers on top. Normally, I do the inking first before I put down any color, but sometimes the alcohol markers, especially lighter colors, will smudge the ink. I don't know how to stop this from happening. Even watercolors will smudge the ink sometimes. People say just get like a waterproof ink, but I have that and it still doesn't work, so I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong. But if anyone knows anything about that, please let me know, because I am always smudging my ink and I hate doing the colors first. The inking is my favorite part of the process, and I love having as much freedom to ink as possible, and when you put the colors down, it kind of limits that. The images you're going to see me pasting in shortly are from some old sketchbooks I had. I just colored them with watercolors and then inked them with a fine ballpoint pen. I specifically wanted to reuse the sketch of the gun that I had because it had all the stats on it from when I first drew it. Her Mosquito 008 has 5mm caliber, 8 rounds, and single action shots, which is absolutely massive for a gun, but she's 7'2", so I think she can handle it. Being so tall attracts a lot of attention, so she stays as quiet as she can as not to attract any more. But she's also very insecure about her height, so if anybody mentions anything about it, all efforts to be invisible disappear immediately, and she makes herself very known. Her title, The Butcher, is not only a pun, but a nickname she got after leaving some particularly messy crime scenes. In her free time, she likes going to the movies and has seen Scarface over 100 times. She's particularly fond of the cartoons that play before the movies, and once spent a whole week straight in a movie theater living off of popcorn, soda, and cigarettes. In Volume 1 of Mischief, we meet Mystico in her mid-30s, and she's starting to wonder if this whole life of killing is really what she wants. She has her titles and her legacy,
She gets paid very well and is extremely good at her job, but now she wonders if this is what she would have chosen if she ever had the choice. Mystico as a character is very dear to me. The more I draw her, the more I find out about her, and the more details I add, and the more I love her. Mystico has changed a lot throughout the years because whilst Chief's personality is a lot more like mine, Mystico is the cool, mysterious butch lesbian that I wish I could be, and my idea of that person has changed just as much as she has. Moving on to Chief the Fabulous Thief, I started by cutting out an image in a sketchbook that I fully inked but I never colored it. This was from a previous character introduction that I never completed, so it's really nice to finally see this image come together. Chief is an intelligent, creative, and anxiously organized trans man. He was abandoned at birth to an orphanage managed by nuns in the Scottish Highlands. He was always a menace, pulling pranks on the nuns and selling silver from the church to make a little money. If ever he was adopted, he would promptly be returned for bad behavior, until one day a group of old women running a textiles shop took him in. They taught him to sew, to stitch, and to steal, as they were a group of semi-retired thieves looking to pass on their skills to a talented young soul. Chief is now primarily known as a jewel thief who not only steals but creates, selling his handmade artifacts and leaving the stones untraceable. He has not once ever removed his gloves out in public, not because of his OCD, but in order to keep his fingerprints out of police files. His elaborate heists are thanks to his meticulous attention to detail and planning, which has never failed him. A pair of treasured embroidery scissors always accompany him in case he needs to fix a loose string or pick a lock. Though scissors are his preferred weapon, he is fluent in most blades no matter their size. He is confident and flirtatious, but is cursed with rejection, making him wary of new people. Through all the years, Mystico is Chief's one and only consistent friend, who's always got his back no matter what. Though a talented thief, he sometimes wishes his art and jewelry could be internationally known. But of course that would give away his crimes, forcing him to stay silent and making his art in peace. Now on that last point, I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do with it. I think it would be really cool if he was living a double life, being an internationally known thief as well as a very famous jeweler. But I also think it's hilarious if he were to be selling the Queen's diamonds at a trades fair. So let me know what you think about that. I'm still deciding because both are great options, and it's not relevant to the first volume yet. I was having a bit of difficulty on Chief's illustrations just filling the background because there's not as much of him, but I did add some concepts of what his jewelry might look like, as well as some old sketches that I then watercolored and inked with the ballpoint pen again. Chief really likes to work with his hands. Though he's not very good at driving a car because of his size, he is able to fix up just about any vehicle, and likes to make little gadgets in order to help him with his heists. He makes most of his and Mystico's clothes, as well as any disguises they have to use for their mischief. Like a true trans man, he had an obsession with Japan and went there to study the art of the sword, hence why he has Yakuza tattoos on his shoulder. Chief and Mystico are about the same age, but when we meet him in Volume 1, he's a little bit more content with his life than Mystico is. Because he doesn't actually make a whole lot of money from selling jewelry, he's always looking for a new job, and his main concern is just being employed. That said, because of their professions and their terrible spending habits, they're always moving cities, trying to find housing and a new job. And when nothing exciting is happening in the underworld, it's not beneath them to take on part-time jobs like delivering groceries or working at a gas station. Just enough for their daily brunch and maybe a night out at a gay bar. I just want to mention that at no point in the story will Chief and Mystico ever be a couple. They're definitely partners for life, but I wouldn't even consider them a QPR, as they're both attracted to the opposite genders as each other. Just a couple of bros being gay and doing crime. The story of Mischief follows these two as they try to find work and unintentionally ruin the lives of everyone they come across. In Volume 1, they've landed in Montreal and are given the task to rob the leader of the Jewish mafia group, Valdemar Marduk, accidentally almost killing his little twink son in the process and sending his entire life into complete disarray. In conjunction with that, a new RCMP officer has just joined the team, and of course their paths meet. Their lives never the same again. Alright everyone, that's what I got for you today. I'm super proud of how the illustrations turned out. This style of scrapbooking was a whole lot of fun, and I got the inspiration from drawing with waffles. I have never done it before, but I think I'm going to do it a little bit more on this channel. If these characters and the story interested you, or you're a fan of Lupin III, Baccano, Tintin, or Cowboy Bebop, I would highly recommend reading my comic, just the first 8 pages, because the rest of it is going to change. I'm not going to upload the whole thing until I'm completely done, but the first 8 pages that are currently on Webtoons, Tapas, and Global Comix under Firo.Comix are going to remain pretty much the exact same. And with the end of this video, I have some super exciting news about the progress of this comic. I have completed the entire sketch, so except for a few exceptions where I have to substitute some characters, the entire thing is done. It's about 50 pages long. And I'm so happy because this is the first time I've finished the whole thing completely, start to finish. There is a page for every page that is in the book, and I'm so happy. Thanks to everyone who watched this video. I'm going to keep you updated on YouTube as well as a little bit on my website, so if you want to check that out, you can. Other than that, I don't really post on Instagram anymore or any other social media platform, though you can still follow me. I will appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Adios!